All right, let's not fall into this mission creep trap. And the fact is I believe two things could be traps at the same time. Number one, we were just informed that the president is going to be extending by an additional 10 calendar days, I guess, the self-imposed deadline to conduct strikes on Iran's power systems. Number two, we could fall into a trap by going over and taking these islands that I think we're going to be doing, that I've been seeing coming in a lot of reports very, very recently. Two things can be true at the same time. And I'm very nervous that, we could be seeing some stuff going down that does not necessarily behooves us. We keep hearing about this place called Kharg Island. Okay, let's take a look at Kharg Island. I'm not the best with good old Google Earth, but one thing I do know is that this is over here in the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Gulf, depending on what country you are, is what you like to call it. Okay, so if you're Persians, you call it the Persian Gulf. If you're Saudi Arabians, you call it the Arabian Gulf. But this island, it is off the coast of Iran. It's controlled by them and is primarily where they send about 90% of their oil through for processing before it goes on ships, and they send it through the Strait of Hormuz and they make their bread. A lot of reports are saying that we're thinking about taking that island. We're thinking about going in and making it our own and doing our thing and all of that good stuff. But see, here's the thing is this. I was reading this article from the FDD. The FDD is extremely hawkish when it comes on Iran. And they themselves are under the opinion that if we go in under Kharg Island, the seizure and the indefinite occupation of this island would pose a significant operational challenge and come at high cost with little strategic return by taking this island. It could be done. We could send Marines coupled with a bunch of airborne from the 82nd Airborne, coupled with special operators. We could seize any island we wanted to in the Persian Gulf. But what does it look like after we do that? And the thing is that we're thinking about taking this island as leverage, as a hope. There are reports that saying that President Trump is hoping that the taking of this island will be just the thrust that's needed to have so that actual Iran wants to completely surrender and just they're ready to give it all up. And I don't think it's that simple. I mean, if we just look at, yes, this is important for them, but I think that they may have been doing planning for many years just in case like a scenario like this were to occur. The biggest thing is that we're getting new reports that the Pentagon is thinking about sending even more troops. They want to do, quote unquote, a knockout blow in the ongoing war against Iran. And they want to send in possibly additional 10,000 more troops. They believe that the taking of Kharg Island, the export hub, and other islands in the Persian Gulf would be the knockout blow that's needed to get them to surrender. I don't think that's the case. I think for them, it's if the regime is still in power, it's a W for them. That's it. I think other things are going to make it feel more like a W. Like if they don't have to give up their ballistic missile capability of building them, if they don't have to give up the rich uranium, if they don't have to, give up the capability of making drones, and if they don't have to start selling oil at $47 a barrel like they were before this conflict, because now they're selling their oil for over $100 a barrel. So a lot of things have come into fruition that seems to be beneficial for Iran. Sitting 20 miles off the coast of Iran is that island. It is 350 miles past the Strait of Hormuz. And that's something else that I think a lot of people are not thinking about, is that if we take this island, right, we see it as this island off the coast, but we have to get our troops. Okay, whether we get them there by going through Iraq, going through Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and maybe we come in off the coast here and we take the island through Kuwait or whatnot. That is a possibility where we land troops here and then we fly in. But we already have moved so many folks off of these bases because of the threat of these drones and the missiles. We have Marines on vessels, on the Iwo Jima, on the Tripoli. So it's like, we need to get them into position for Kharg Island. Now, the 82nd Airborne, they can be anywhere in the globe in like less than 80 hours. So for them, I'm not necessarily as concerned about how we would get them there. But to get from the Strait of Hormuz to Kharg Island, 350 miles, could be stuff that's mined. There's other vessels there. There's other threats there. We don't know what else Iran has been doing. That is a huge thing that we would have to do. Not only that, now if we put people in that island, if we put people for that threat, we now have to worry about FPV drones. We've seen the use of FPV drones or first person vision drones where militias in Iraq have been attacking our mostly empty bases in Iraq. They destroyed one of our Black Hawk helicopters. If we're in that position now, we could be within range of an FPV drone. This is an entirely different type of warfare. We could damn near get their ballistic missiles down to zero. We could damn near get their drones down to zero, although there's reports that they're buying and they're getting more missiles from Russia. But this new type of warfare, whether it's shoulder mounted launchers that have the capability of striking, we would always have to have air defenses, air powers hovering in the area. We would always have to be worried about FPV drones. And then plus, we don't know what other traps have been laid on this island that's been under their control for decades. So that's something else that we need to think about. This is a trap where I don't think it's as easy as we think it would be. And as hawkish as FDD is when it comes to Iran, they believed in regime change for decades. The objectives that we had at the beginning of this war are completely different from the objective that we seem to be running full speed to right now. So there's another island we're thinking about going balls deep inside of. And this island is called the Abu Musa Island, which is under the control of Iran right now. It's a sovereign island, but it's under dispute between Iran and it's also the United Arab Emirates. Right now, it's under the control of the Iranians. That island, plus their larger Quiche Island, Aquash Island, as well as this island to the west called Syria. These three islands, we're also thinking about taking all four islands at the same time, because it's believed that in the main part of the strait, there has been mine laying that has been occurred between Quiche Island and the tip here where Oman begins and UAE ends and stuff like that. That mines have been laying, and it's forcing vessels to actually go north past this island and straight and actually have to get near Iran. And that's why they're able to control what vessels are able to go through. Vessels aren't simply going through this part of the strait right here. So it's believed that we're also thinking about taking this island, which I've never even freaking heard of this island until today. But what also leads me to believe we're going to have to take the Greater Toon, which is also under control of Iran. But this is a key island that we're thinking about that might be something that we want to go in for as well, because this island itself has an airstrip, which an airstrips allows for us somewhere to land. And it also has capabilities on it, such as hospitals and stuff like that, that we could take over and we could use if we needed to. But it's under the control right now of the Iranians. I believe if they thought they were about to lose this island or any of their other islands, they're going to blow up the airstrips. That's like an easy prediction, something they're easily going to do. And it's not just that, but trying to take anything. This is an article from the Wall Street Journal. Trying to take anything from Iran right now, I believe could be a trap. And Iranians think that any type of peace deal talks with us right now is a trap. They have an example from last year. They were under talks and negotiations with the United States, and then boom, the beginning of the 12-day war with Israel and the United States, and they started to get a bunch of bombs. And they kind of got the same thing here, where they're being told that peace talks are going on, but they've had over 10,000 strikes in Iran since the beginning of this war, and we are less than 30 days in. That is a crazy op tempo. So if we're thinking about taking this again, I don't think Iran necessarily believes this when they say that they extend once again 10 more days before these attacks resume. I don't think they really care. I don't think that they are willing to budge on giving up ballistic missiles or any of those things. And when we start to see stories that the 10-day pause has been extended by the president, they're not going to agree to our 15-point plan, which means we're going to have to make a decision. And I think the decision is going to be, we're going to increase the number of troops in the area. And this is my biggest worry. A lot of folks in my comments have said, hey, if you got so many issues with it, why don't you enlist and go do it yourself? Bro, I've already been over there. And I've already seen how the enemy has the ability to just wait you out. Let's say, for instance, we do take Kharg Island. Let's say we do take the Abu Musa Island, and we take Syria, and we take the other islands. All they have to do is wait, because we're not going to tell them how long we're going to be there. It's not like we're going to take it and say, well, you got 2 weeks to make up your mind, or we're just going to blow your island up. We're going to go and get up out of here. That's not what they're going to do. I remember being in Camp Hansen in Afghanistan, different parts of Lashkar, and the warlords that control different blocks within the Taliban, going your way to Camp Hansen meant we could not get there by any vehicle. We had to be heloed in, and we only could do foot patrols. And it was just a waiting game. We had a burn pit there. That's how it was only males allowed at this specific fob. And for us particularly, they just had to wait. If they want control back of a base, all they got to do is wait it out. Same thing with the Iranians. So if they take this stuff over and we're just at a stalemate with them, does it turn into a years-long thing like it was with Iraq? This same time in Iraq in 2003, we had already basically almost taken over the entire Saddam Hussein regime. Iraq had fallen, and for the most part, we had ground vehicles and we could do whatever we wanted to in Iraq. But the war carried on for an additional almost 20 years. So what does this look like? Well, according to the Wall Street Journal, citing a Department of War officials, the Pentagon may be looking to send an additional 10,000 troops to the Middle East. And they're also including armored vehicles. I think the pause has nothing to do with peace deals. I don't think it has anything to do with that whatsoever. I don't think that we are concerned about the prospects of talking it out. I think that the pause is for two reasons, actually three. Number one, I think we've decided to do this pause to try to ease oil markets, ease prediction markets, ease actual prices, see if gas prices come back down, because there's not a lot of stuff going on. Maybe more ships start to get through the Strait of Hormuz. Number two, I think the pause has to do with getting the troops that are already en route, which were scheduled, this first pause was scheduled to be over tomorrow, is now extended an additional 10 days. Those Marines were scheduled to get there. I think that it gives more time for more troops to get in the region, upwards of 10,000 more, plus the armored vehicles, MRAPs, jungle vehicles, anything else that we want to use in that area. On top of all that, I also believe the third thing is for this plan that you see on your screen. I think that if we decide to go, it's going to be a multi-layered attack on Iranian islands, because Kharg Island may be the main area where they export oil, but they also may already have a plan in place for them to get oil out of their Larka Island, their Kesh Island, the Abu Mesa Island. Plus, they have other ways to drive oil through their country and possibly load it up past the Strait of Hormuz. I think we're going to try to choke them off when it comes to the way they make money, which is oil. I still don't think they're going to quit. I think we need 10 more days to get this plan put in place. But I think it's a trap. I think it's a trap where we're going to lose forces, God forbid. We're going to lose more treasure, and we can get sucked into another long ass fight like Iraq. But what do I know? I'm just analyzing stuff. There's other analysts that think that this is a go, and people like me are being pushed to the side, that we need to go full steam ahead, such as Gretchen Graham. Grinder Graham believes that we should be doing stuff like that. And folks that are just adamantly hawkish about this thinks that we should just bomb them and reopen the Strait of Hormuz and then target Cuba next. Maybe that is the look, but you got to remember, we are beginning to make more enemies than we are keeping friends. The more that we're just kind of going all over the place and doing stuff as we see fit, we're kind of stacking up bodies. We're stacking them up, not like a player that's out here just pounding them We're stacking them up as in like, nah, we don't want to help you. The reason that we may be going after this trifecta or maybe even quadruple attack on all these islands is because you break it, you fix it. It seems like NATO, other UN countries, and people who use the Strait of Hormuz, other than like UK, are not willing to get into this fight to reopen the strait. They really seem to have the you break it, you fix it. Once you fix it, we'll send a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want that shit to close again. We do need our oil, but we're not sending nobody over there to help you. Hopefully, we're able to figure out a way to get out of this through a diplomatic way. But the odds of that are near to like getting closer to zero. And the odds of me being right about this only taking 6 weeks are getting close to zero also. But what do I know? First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.